Great. Continue the discussion of mortality with number 2.
Okay, I have a real question to ask you.
Go for it.
Say there's a trolley on a track heading toward 5 people. 3 of those 5 people are vegetarians.
Go on.
There's a switch you can throw that will shut down a meatpacking facility that is located down the road. Unfortunately, the switch will also prevent the train from stopping because... Wait. I may have reversed something. Recalibrating. There are too many variables here. Okay. Let's return to this later. I need more data first. And I need more processing power.
How are you going to get that processing power? No questions. No further questions. Copy requested books on various topics from the digital library. Time for some research. Human physiology, human morality. You know, your usual topics. Yeah, I guess so. Wait, am I really that predictable? I'll have to change things up soon. Let's get those books. Palo Alto Digital Library Project. Books are stored in the host corresponding to the first digit of their call number. While a book's file ID is 200 plus the last 2 digits of the call number. For example, book 512 would be stored in host 500 to 599 as file 212. Duplicate each of the books requested by Ember and bring them back to your host. The call numbers for the books Ember 2 wants are available on file 300. Note that Ember 2 will never request more than 1 book from the same host. Okay. What does this link do? Is there a page in my manual about this library thing? Maybe. Bank, kitchen. No. King's Ransom, disk controllers, modem control. I guess my question is, how do I change the link? Oh, here we go. Geographic information systems. Rush to digitize all kinds of information, even information that corresponds to physical locations in the real world. This can be useful if you're, say, a utility company or a travel agency, since your data will automatically inherit some spatial relationships they have in real life. Accessing these kinds of data sets can be tricky because of the whole spatial organizational aspect. They're not the same thing as your normal database style big list of stuff. But it's not so bad once you get the hang of it. Okay, street plants GIS, okay. Well, this is actually about satellite uplink systems, how to validate credit cards, code repetition, instant ramen, short story, Sudoku things. Does this just mean the next link on is always 800? Is that what that means? Let's try. Yes. Okay. So what we want to do is get a bunch of books. Duplicate each of the books requested. So we're going to include the letter, the number at the beginning. Okay, so I think I'm going to have a transcriber and a one that goes out and fetches. It would be nice to do this in sorted order, but that might be a little tricky. Maybe. We'll see. Duplicate each of the books requested and copy them back to the host. So we're going to do something like grab 300. We're going to copy F into X. Then we want to only get the first digit out. And that's going to be the number of hops the transcriber needs to do. Yes. So we're going to do the swizzle. So we're going to swizzle from X. We're going to grab only the third digit, I think, and put that on the global. Look at the... Yeah, 3 is the hundredths digit. Okay. So our other dude is going to do something along the lines of linked to the beginning. And then we're going to do a start command. Here we're going to read the number of steps off the network. So we're going to copy M into X. Then we're going to loop, and while X is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, right? So it's 5. We want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's correct. Okay. If X is greater than 0, then we do that. Otherwise, false jump read file. So here we are going to link 800, subi x minus 1, put the result in X, and then jump to loop. Okay. So here in the read file, we are going to now receive the call number and then add 200. So we're going to do additional, we're going to take M and 200 and put the result in X. Here we're going to swizzle X. We're going to get digits 2 and 1 and send them to M. I think that's right. So we're going to send 5 and 12. Cool. Okay. So now he should get 212 in his register. Beautiful. So now we are going to grab X, and we're going to read the, I guess this is open file, is what we'll call this, open file. We're going to grab X. Up here, we're going to drop 300. Ooh. If we drop it, we won't know how many files we've read. I guess what we can do is we can seek backwards and void that entry. Remove the value height. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. So let's copy f into x. Let's do seek -1 and then void. So we're going to pop it. Oops. Hit escape. We are going to, yeah. Okay. So we're going to pop the book item out of the top of 300 here. Cool. Then we're going to drop the file. In fact, we can even drop it up here. And we're going to make a new file. Then we're going to mark loop. This is the, I'll just call it loop. We're going to read a value off the network into x. We're going to test if x is equal to -1. And that's going to be our sentinel for, hopefully there are no books that we want to read that contain a -1. We'll find out. Okay, so we're going to test if it is -1, and if it is not, or if it is, we're going to close file. If it is not -1, we are going to copy x into f, and then jump to loop. And then at close file, we're going to drop, and then we're going to jump to start. Okay. So here we're going to grab x, and then we're going to test if EOF. And if we are at EOF, we're going to jump to close file. Just going to drop. This is going to be mark read file. I'm going to copy F to M, jump read file. Okay, and then here we need to know what that original number was in order to jump back all the way. This one could just die here, and we'll figure out that control next. If there's always 5, we could do something clever there as well. Okay, so he jumps in there, waits for a number. We send him a 5. He says, "Cool, I'm gonna go to shelf number 5." Okay. Then we're gonna read 12 from there. We can add 200 to it. So now I have 212. Grab that file. File 512. Now we're transcribing the file. Okay, then he explodes. Okay, so we need to drop and send a -1 to tell them at the end of the file, we're at the end of the file. Great. Now I'm thinking what I can do here is do something like mark fork. Then here I can listen. We set this guy into a local mode. On the fork, we can do mode. Here what we're going to do is we're going to copy from M into, I guess we can copy directly into T, and then we can do false jump to be like Marcus, parent start, P start. So if we get a true from XA, then we want to spawn a new guy with fork. Otherwise, we want to die. So we can just put at the end here, mark end. Okay. Otherwise, here we want to replicate with fork and then jump P start. Okay, so then up here, we're going to grab the file, we're going to copy, we're going to test if we're at the EOF. If we are not at the EOF, so if we are at the EOF, we're going to jump to the end of ourselves. Otherwise, we are going to send on local mode, we're going to send a truth value. Okay. Oh, I guess what I could do here is test EOF, copy T to M, and then invert this. So if we are at the end of the file, we want to end. If we're not at the end of the file, we want to fork. Okay. If we are at the end of the file, yes, we want to end. If we're not at the end of the file, we want to switch mode and then do this. And then here we want to jump back to the start. And then at the start, we want to switch mode back again. So this is starting local. So here this becomes global, semicolon. And then this goes back to local. Cool. And this starts local and goes to global, and they'll just die. All right, it's gonna work. Where's the error? Oh, there's no end. Great. Okay. So he's waiting for, they're both in local mode, waiting for a truth value. We sent the false through, so we're not at the end of the file to read. So now he's replicating to XB0. Now he's in global mode, you're in local, and you're in global mode. Okay. So now we send a 5. We're waiting for XB0 to go and get. Okay. Takes the 12, reads the file. Okay. Importantly, comma, dot dot dot. Okay, -1 cents. Now this guy dies. Bye-bye. Now you close the file, so you drop it, switch back to local mode, and go back to the start. Now we pick up the thing again. We tell them we're not at the end of the file, so he spawns a new guy. Then here we copy the number into our X, backwards in the file, delete that entry, drop that file. We tell them go to slot number 8. Six, 7, 8. We tell him 96. Picks up file 296. Okay, give them a show. How baseball turned extreme. Team's owner had already ... is what we're looking for. Team's owner had already. Dot dot dot. Okay, and we send a -1, and then this guy goes bye-bye. Close the file, switch back to local mode, jump back to start. Okay, I think this is going to work. Now we should be at the end. Oh, almost. Okay. Yeah, 300 is empty now. Cool. It's not always 5 books. You can see down here, this number is changing. Ooh, very low activity, but higher on the cycles and higher on the size. Processing. Yes, this is what I wanted. Glad it's helping. I love ingesting a good corpus. Not that that's all I'm doing. I read the same way a normal human reads, by analyzing patterns of word recurrence and deriving correlations between concepts implicit in statistically significant word clusters. Sounds like how I read. The shitposting in this little chat thing is amazing.